Oh, hello there. It is Wednesday, June 5th. Here's what we're working on this morning. Two 14-year-olds have been arrested after a vandalism spree in Welland.
New CRTC regulations require online streamers to pay into a fund to boost Canadian content.
And fans of Wheel of Fortune getting set to say goodbye to Pat Sajak. And we are getting set to say hello to Brian Wood.
Good morning. Morning.
Hi.
Hey, happy Wednesday. We made it.
Another beauty yesterday, buddy. 2 in a row.
Yeah, it was gorgeous yesterday. Actually, got quite warm yesterday. 29 we got to yesterday. We had the sunshine. It was sticky, though.
Air conditioning was put on.
Spot on.
Yep. Got it on. You'll need it again today. Not quite as warm today. A 27-degree high, but still a humidex of 34, kind of like we had yesterday. But today, we're going to start off with some sunshine and then clouds and showers, possible thunderstorms later on, and we could get some heavy downpours throughout the overnight hours tonight as those showers and thunderstorms continue. But yeah, as you can see, it's already getting a little cloud. Earlier this morning, it was bright, sunny conditions, sun's up nice and early already this time of year. So we'll see that cloud cover rolling in. We'll talk about the forecast. By the way, we're sitting at 17 degrees right now. No fog this morning, which is nice because we can see. We can have a look here at the 403 and Waterdown Road. Looks good right there. Nothing going on in either direction. MTO traffic cameras just give you a few here, give you an overview. Looks good here at the Red Hill Creek camera. Nothing. Top of the Burlington Skyway. On this camera, Toronto-bound lanes coming towards us as you head into Burlington. We do have a vehicle off to the side, not impeding any live lanes. It's on just kind of on the ramp lane going from the Toronto-bound QEW to Burl Oak Drive, but everything else is just moving nicely. So please take it carefully. We'll look at weather and traffic coming up right now. The news.
Okay, thanks very much, Brian. Well, two 14-year-olds have been arrested after a vandalism spree in Welland. Last month, several homes, properties, vehicles, and street signs were defaced in a neighborhood with hateful language and crude imagery. One woman's home was tagged with "old fart" on the front window. The teens are each facing a charge of mischief under $5,000. One of the boys has also been charged with disobeying a court order.
Niagara Police, they are investigating following multiple overnight break-ins. This happened on Sunday. Police say there could be more than one suspect that have entered 5 homes in Pelham and stole 2 cars, multiple wallets, and other personal items. So the homes were broken into through unlocked doors and windows. Anyone who can identify this suspect or has surveillance footage is asked to contact police.
A man's been charged for trying to steal a purse inside a police station in St. Catharines. Happened last Thursday in the lobby of one district on Welland Avenue. Police say a 39-year-old man of St. Catharines tried to steal a 77-year-old woman's purse. She wouldn't let go, though, and that resulted in her being dragged along the floor. She suffered serious injuries, but she kept her purse, and police were able to intervene and place the man under arrest.
Well, online streaming services will have to start contributing money to local news and Canadian content production. This according to the CRTC. Let's bring in Simone Gavros, who joins us from outside our local studio with more on this. Good morning, Simone.
Hi, good morning, Tim. Well, this means that foreign streamers like Netflix and Spotify, they'll have to pay 5% of their annual Canadian revenue in support of Canadian broadcasting. Now, the CRTC expects this to generate $200 million every year when the new measure kicks in starting in September. The funds will go towards local TV and radio news, Indigenous content, as well as French language content. Now, this measure is just another aspect of Canada's online streaming law, requiring platforms to make meaningful contributions to Canadian content. The local media industry calls this move a win for Canadian culture and jobs, but streaming companies like Motion Picture Association Canada say the mandate doesn't factor in the contributions streaming services already make. The association says global studios and streaming services have spent over $6.7 billion annually making quality content here in Canada. Now, the only companies that would have to pay this new mandate would be those not affiliated with a Canadian broadcaster and make over $25 million annually. But for now, I'll send things back over to you, Annette.
Okay, thanks very much, Simone. It's going to cost up to $1.3 million to rebuild a burned-down washroom in Hamilton's Woodlands Park.
It was fast and furious communications at the beginning of the year, and I still struggle with how long things take. It's June. The fire took place in January, and I think my sense is one that is shared with the community, right? It's hard to understand sometimes why things take so long.
That's the counselor for that ward, Narinder Nan. The fire happened at the beginning of the year. Fire crews believed it started at an encampment before spreading to the washroom. No one was hurt. Contractors are going to start fixing the roof of the washroom soon, but the whole project won't wrap up until the end of 2025.
An Ontario court has dismissed the conviction appeal of a former Hamilton police officer. Craig Ruthowski was first charged in 2012 for alleged misconduct in Hamilton's Gangs and Weapons Enforcement Unit. So those charges were later stayed as prosecutors feared going to trial would lead to the identity of a police informant being made public. In 2015, a large-scale police operation executed search warrants right across southern Ontario. 29 people were arrested, and Ruthowski was one of them. At his trial in 2018, he was found guilty of bribery, obstruction of justice, breach of trust, and cocaine trafficking, and sentenced to 13 years in prison. His appeal claimed that the sentence was excessive.
The man accused of stabbing 3 people at the University of Waterloo last summer has now pleaded guilty. Giovanni Villalba Ailman was originally charged with attempted murder. He's pleaded guilty, though, to 2 counts of aggravated assault, 1 of assault with a weapon and 1 of assault causing bodily harm. An agreed statement of facts says he told police that he'd been planning an assault for weeks. A professor and 1 student in a gender studies class were stabbed. Another student was attacked trying to get away. Villalba Ailman says he carried out the attack because he believed that post-secondary institutions were, quote, forcing ideology on people. He's going to be sentenced this fall.
A teen girl charged in the death of a homeless man in downtown Toronto pleaded guilty yesterday to assault causing bodily harm and assault with a weapon. 8 girls between the ages of 13 and 16 were initially charged with second-degree murder in the December 2022 death of Kenneth Lee. So police have alleged Lee, who was 59 and living in the city's shelter system, died after he was swarmed and stabbed by a group of girls. Another girl, who was also 13 at the time, pled guilty to manslaughter last week. 3 other girls are expected to plead guilty in the case, and the remaining 3 will be tried by a jury in Superior Court. None of the accused can be identified under the Youth Criminal Justice Act.
Pro-Palestinian demonstrators at the University of Guelph say they'll continue to defy orders to tear down their tents, but they have moved their protest a little bit. Guelph's fire department had issued an order for the encampment to clear a walkway that was blocking entrance to a university building. The fire department says if the pathway gets blocked again, the school could be fined up to $20,000 a day for breaking fire codes. Dozens of tents were set up in the center of campus 2 weeks ago as students demand the University of Guelph divest from organizations supporting the war in Israel. Advocates for better health in Niagara are calling on Premier Doug Ford to overrule decisions by the local Niagara Health Authority.
If this government can spend $1 billion to get beer in corner stores a year earlier than it was already going to happen, surely we can have proper medical care in our communities.
The group brought 3,200 letters to Queen's Park, all calling on Premier Ford and Health Minister Sylvia Jones to reinstate 24/7 urgent care in Fort Erie and Port Colborne, and for around-the-clock emergency surgeries to resume at the Welland Hospital. Niagara Health has cut back services in those 3 locations, citing a shortage of doctors and other healthcare professionals. In a statement from the Minister of Health's office, they point to the new South Niagara Hospital, which is under construction still. Well, more than 1,000 people are going to take part this weekend in Hamilton's 7th annual Run for Women. It's being held Sunday at Confederation Park. Proceeds will support women's mental health and substance use care at St. Joseph's Health Care Hamilton. The money will also help break down barriers for diagnosis of lesser-known disorders like premenstrual dysphoric disorder. It's also known as PMDD. It can lead to overwhelming emotional and physical distress and only formally became recognized as a mood disorder in the last decade. It's estimated PMDD impacts anywhere from 300,000 to more than 1 million women in this country.
Sportsline, and it was another tough night for Blue Jays fans as hopes of seeing any life from this top 10 team in payroll and all of baseball continues to dwindle.
Do they try to get Bowden built up more and more? Curveball hit deep down the left field line, and it is gone.
Now, the Baltimore Orioles, they're way down at number 25 when it comes to payroll, but they have many young, exciting players, and they have Ryan Mountcastle, who is a Blue Jays killer. He stepped up last night and homered twice and now has 17 moonshots against the Jays in his career. He added 5 RBIs as the Orioles embarrassed Toronto 10-1. They've taken the first 2 games of the 4-game set. Jays have dropped 3 of 4. Try to end it when Jose Barrios is on the bump tonight.
Fleming now. Kadisha Buchanan floats. It's an inch-perfect header. Kadisha Buchanan has her 6th goal for country.
Yeah, just down the road at BMO Field, our national women's soccer team had their final home match before they get to set to defend their Olympic gold in Paris next month. Kadisha Buchanan opened the scoring, who were trying to beat Mexico for a second straight game after they blanked them 2-0 in Montreal on Saturday. Mexico would find the back of the nets a little bit later in the second half as the friendly does end in a 1-1 draw. Canadian coach Bev Priestman now has decisions to make, choosing her roster before the July 3rd deadline. The first Olympic roster without the great Christine Sinclair. Tough news for world number 1 Novak Djokovic at the French Open. He will not win a 25th Grand Slam as he had to withdraw from quarterfinal action today with a knee injury. Despite winning his 4th-round match, he sustained a torn meniscus in his right knee during the 5-set victory over Francisco Cerundolo. It means Casper Ruud will head straight to the semifinals. First time in 20 years the French Open will not have one of the big 3 in the Joker, Rafael Nadal or Roger Federer in the semis at Roland Garros. Now, with the Joker withdrawing from Roland Garros, that means Australian Open winner Jannik Sinner will become the world's top men's tennis player after the French Open. He will become the first Italian to claim the number 1 spot ever. 22-year-old easily defeated Grigor Dimitrov in straight sets in the quarterfinals yesterday. He's off to the semis. On the women's side, it was also an easy cruise into the semifinals for world number 1. Iga Swiatek winning in straight sets. 2 more quarterfinals today, headlined by world number 2 and Aussie Open champ Aryna Sabalenka. And on the eve of the CFL season kicking off tomorrow, news out of Toronto, as the lawsuit filed against the Argos and their quarterback, Chad Kelly, by a former strength and conditioning coach has been settled. The coach was seeking $80,000 from Kelly and over $85,000 from the Argos. Kelly was suspended for at least 9 games after an independent investigation determined Kelly violated its gender-based violence policy. This will not affect last year's most outstanding player's suspension to start the season. Argos, they host BC come Sunday night. Ticats, they're in Calgary Friday night.
All right, here we go. 13 past 6 o'clock. It's Wednesday, the 5th of June, and we've got the sun up already. We've had some. It's getting cloudier as the morning goes on. We'll talk about traffic first of all. A little slow here right now at the 403 and Waterdown Road. No reports of collisions, just getting some volume as you head toward Brant Street. Check some of our MTO traffic cameras. St. Catharines, still lovely sunshine. Garden City Skyway, no problems with traffic there. Red Hill Creek still rolling nicely. Getting slow here as you head from Fairview Street on toward Brant Street. As we mentioned, the 403 is slow heading toward Brant as well. Nothing at the Ford plant. And looking at the QEW and Dixie, all doing fine. Temperature this hour has dropped a degree. We were 17 last hour, now sitting at 16 to start the day. Humidity is right up there once again. It's been 100% for the past number of mornings. We do have a mainly cloudy sky right now. For school today, we're looking at showers and thunderstorms settling in later on this afternoon. A bit of a south breeze and a 27-degree high. Humidex 34 today. So again, a sticky day. We're ahead of that cold front. Notice that southerly flow that we have with those arrows. And then the cold front goes through. That's going to happen later on today into tonight. And that's going to cool off the temperatures during the day tomorrow. But it's not going to get us back into sunshine, unfortunately. We're going to see a bit of sun as the day progresses tomorrow, but we still have a chance of showers and thunderstorms during the day. So today, 23 to 29, what a difference there in Niagara today. 26, 27 this end of the lake. Burlington struggling again at 20. Otherwise, 27 will feel like 34 today. Tonight, we could get 10 to 20 millimeters as the showers and thunderstorms continue. Still a mild night, anywhere from 16 to 17 to 19 degrees. And then tomorrow, well, maybe a touch cooler, 20, 21 for Niagara, 22 and 23 this end of the lake, bit of a humidex of 26, but a bit more sunshine for the afternoon tomorrow. Otherwise, there is that, again, chance of a shower or thunderstorm. So out the door this morning, it has become mainly cloudy. Temperature is 16 right now, and we do have some light winds. And we'll look at the long-range forecast for the weekend coming up at 10.
Okay, right now we're looking forward to Chit Chat with Emily. Good morning.
Good morning. It is the end of an era. Pat Sajak is going to be spinning the wheel for one final time on Friday. It's his last show.
Is it?
It's his last show. We're also going to be talking about Alec Baldwin and his family doing a reality show.
Right.
You know, I think he's got time for that. And there's one more. Oh, Chris Martin, Coldplay, reducing his carbon emissions.
Do we know who's taking over for Pat?
Yes, Ryan Seacrest.
Oh, that is. Oh, right.
Because he doesn't have enough to do.
Right. That was the
He's not
remember
busy
that
enough.
day because people wanted Vanna White to take it over,
Yes,
right?
And
Oh,
she
yeah,
should have,
okay.
but that's
Right.
just my opinion.
Okay. Okay, cool. We'll see you at the couch in a little bit.
I'll be there.
Okay. Coming up after the break, so many people looking forward to this announcement. The Bank of Canada is expected to announce an interest rate cut this morning. If it happens, it'll be the first time in 4 years. Coming up on 6:19 on your Wednesday morning, Canadian dollar is up 3 basis points in overseas trading this morning. It's up to 73.12 cents U.S. Gold has gained $4.70. Crude oil dropped by 17 cents to $73.08 a barrel. Checking midday trading in Europe, markets are up in London, Frankfurt, and Paris.
What about Asia? Markets were down in Tokyo, on Hong Kong, and Shanghai. North American markets, I don't think I got that Asian one right, but North American markets, this is what we care about, right? TSX, it's down 138 basis points yesterday. Some gains for the Dow Jones and the NASDAQ, but all eyes on the Bank of Canada and how that will affect the markets this morning.
You're stealing my thunder.
Oh, shoot.
That is the first story.
I didn't even know that was the first line.
Yes. The general consensus among observers in financial markets is that the bank is going to lower its key lending rate by 1/4 percentage point. It would be the bank's first interest rate cut in 4 years. The federal bank's key interest rate is currently at 5%, the highest it's been since 2001. Bank of Canada Governor Tiff Macklem has said a rate cut is possible, but the decision is going to be guided by economic data.
Well, more than 9,000 Canadian border workers are on the brink of a potential strike. Their union says members who work for the Canada Border Services Agency will begin job action on Friday at 4 o'clock Eastern Time if no deal is reached by then. Despite the looming threat, the Public Service Alliance of Canada says it still hopes to avoid strike action and border disruptions, but notes border staff have been without a contract for more than 2 years. Mediation between the two parties, it commenced on Monday. The union says key issues include pay parity with other law enforcement agencies and flexible telework and remote work options.
Okay, we're going to take a quick break right now. Brian is back with your traffic and your 7-day forecast. Shaping up to be a great day.
6:24 already on this Wednesday morning. Sunshine, well, there's some around this morning. A little bit more in the Niagara region. Garden City Skyway, west camera, still looks good, so nothing there. We're getting really slow coming across the Skyway Bridge already. No collisions, no reports of that, but it's slow all the way from the Skyway Bridge right straight through as you head around to Brant Street. That camera went bye-bye. Here's the QEW at Lorne Park, so Toronto-bound lanes coming towards us on that one, and we'll check into the 403. That's just east of Mississauga Road. Once again, Toronto bound towards us. Not a lot happening on the road so far this morning. Good. All right, temperature at the moment sitting at 16 for Hamilton, 17 Grimsby, 19 Mississauga, and for Toronto. So we figure this time of year a seasonal overnight low is about 11 degrees. So you can tell you're mild to start the day. 23 for the daytime high. Sun times at records there. It's going to be an unsettled day today. Now, not too bad going into school this morning. 22 will be the temperature by 9, the first bell, but a mainly cloudy sky. 27 afterwards, there's that chance of a shower or a thunderstorm as the afternoon goes on. So 27 feeling like 34 today with that chance of showers and thunderstorms. Tonight, we fall to 18, but showers and thunderstorms could bring us 10 to 20 millimeters overnight. And again tomorrow, but tomorrow will be cooler. Again tomorrow, maybe a little more sun, but again, chance of a shower or a thunderstorm. Friday for our 70th here at CHCH, 17 only. So it's going to be a cool day with chance of showers. Showers again for the weekend, 18 to 19, temperatures below seasonal, fairly gray. And then we get back into sunshine, of course, for Monday and Tuesday. That's your forecast. Annette, Tim.
Thanks, Brian. Okay, so researchers at the University of Maine, they've come up with a revolutionary new way to address the housing shortage in the United States.
This 600 square foot single family home was built with what's believed to be the world's largest polymer 3D printer.
What?
They say this is the first 100% 3D printed home built from local wood fiber and bioresin materials. Now, right now, this printer can produce 500 pounds of material an hour. The goal is to print 1,000 pounds of material an hour. And at that rate, the printer could build a house in as little as 48 hours. Okay, I want to see this printer.
I want to see the rest of this house. I could live there.
It's very cute.
Sorry, Liz and the kids, you're not going to be able to join me, but it looks very quaint for one. You know what I mean? I could have a really nice life in there.
What are you saying? They're watching right now.
I'm just saying. Like,
yeah. It's a very nice home.
It might not be a family home. Maybe it just might be for one. When somebody wants to get away from the family every now and again. Love my family.
A man shed.
A man shed.
A man shed.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Okay, before I get into any more trouble, let's get out of here, shall we? 1.5 hour done.
I think you need to go up to your little home.
Get out to the shed.